The cage doesn't lie, but sometimes it laughs at your predictions. I picked Ankalaev to win a close one. I thought patience and precision would keep chaos out of reach, but Alex Pereira doesn't fight in theories. He fights in moments. And when his moment comes, it ends everything. UFC 320 was supposed to be the cleanup, the rematch, the night the controversy died and the hierarchy was restored. Magomed Ankalaev walked in like a man correcting the record, calm, composed, confident. But across from him stood inevitability, wearing 4-ounce gloves. From the first exchange, Pereira looked measured. The stillness of a man who knows exactly what's about to happen. Ankalaev stepped forward, probing, trying to find rhythm. And in that split second, Pereira found his opening. A slight shift in stance, a half-beat pause, then the right hook, short, sharp, and surgical. It didn't travel far, but it didn't have to. Ankalaev fell like a circuit breaker had flipped. A few follow-up elbows later, the referee waved it off at 120 of round 1. No controversy, no debate. Just Pereira reclaiming gold with the same cold precision that built his legend. And as much as it stings to say, I was wrong. Because Ankalaev was never steering this story. Pereira was. He's now a 2-division champion again. A man who turns light heavyweights into highlights and critics into believers. There's no one like him, and maybe there never will be. If Pereira's brilliance is explosive, Merab Dvalishvili's is relentless. Where Pereira ends fights, Merab extends them until his opponent breaks. Cory Sandhagen came to counter the storm. Slick footwork, range management, intelligent setups, it didn't matter. Merab just kept walking and walking and walking. 5 rounds of wrestling, pressure, and impossible cardio. Like watching someone run a generator made of pure stubbornness. Sandhagen tried everything, angles, feints, knees up the middle, but Merab kept making the cage smaller, the air thinner, and the fight slower by design. By the end, it wasn't a contest, it was a clinic in control, a unanimous decision that felt inevitable by round 3. 2 champions, 2 extremes. Pereira conquers with impact. Merab conquers with endurance. Power versus pressure. And both men made their case for being the best in the world at what they do. The rest of the main card did its job. Jiri reminded everyone that chaos can still be art. He was trailing in the fight, but came back at the end for a fantastic knockout that seemed more from exhaustion by Khalil than from Jiri's power. Joe Pyfer and Yusuf Zalal proved the next generation is coming fast. But UFC 320 belonged to 2 men. Alex Pereira, who erased doubt with a single right hook, and Merab Dvalishvili, who smothered hope over 25 minutes. That's the beauty of this sport. It humbles analysts, rewrites narratives, and leaves you staring at the screen in silence. Not because you were wrong, but because truth just punched you in the mouth. So what's next for Alex and Merab? Let's be honest. Light heavyweight doesn't feel big enough for Alex Pereira anymore. He's cleaned out contenders, silenced doubters, and now he's defending belts faster than the division can produce challengers. And when a fighter starts running out of problems, he usually starts looking up. Heavyweight. It's not just an idea anymore, it's a gravitational pull. Pereira's frame, his timing, his one-shot power, they all translate. He's already sparring with heavyweights, already walking around at 230 plus. If he moves up, the names write themselves. Tom Aspinall, Cyril Gane, Sergey Pavlovich. Imagine those matchups. Chess meets thunder. But this isn't just about belts. It's about legacy. Pereira's story isn't the man who won 2 divisions. It's the man who conquered weight itself. A heavyweight run would make him something rarer than a champion, a myth. And myths don't belong in weight classes. While Alex Pereira stares up toward the land of giants, Merab Dvalishvili keeps his eyes fixed on the grind. At UFC 320, he didn't just beat Cory Sandhagen, he dismantled him. 5 rounds of pressure, pace, and persistence that felt less like a fight and more like a system check. How long can a man breathe under floodwater? Merab's style isn't glamorous, it's not viral, but it's honest, and honesty wins belts. So the question isn't whether he can hold the throne at bantamweight, it's whether there's anyone left to test him. He's already been asked about moving up to face Alexander Volkanovski, and he shut it down immediately. He said Volk's too strong, too solid, a weight class too far. And that tells you everything about Merab. He knows exactly who he is, and he's not interested in chasing vanity challenges. But moving down, that's a conversation worth having. Because a matchup with Alexander Pantoja, the flyweight king, would be something we've never seen before. 2 cardio monsters, 2 engines that never redline. It's not about size, it's about sustainability. If Merab can make the cut, it's not crazy to imagine a super fight built on mutual chaos. Pantoja's explosiveness against Merab's endless grind. Technique versus tempo. And if you think Merab couldn't make 125, you haven't watched the man's discipline up close. He's the kind of fighter who could drop a division just to prove he could. Not because he needs to, but because he wants to find limits. And right now, he hasn't found any. He's the constant in a sport that keeps changing. The storm that doesn't fade, it just moves on to the next coast. Nights like this remind you why we watch. It's not just for knockouts or highlight reels, it's for the rare moments when truth and violence collide. Alex Pereira's chasing giants. Merab Dvalishvili's daring gravity itself to stop him. And between them sits the question that defines every great fighter. How far can you go before even greatness isn't enough? Because hype is temporary, power fades, but pressure, real, relentless pressure, that's what carves names into history. 2 men proved it tonight. One with his hands, one with his heart. Both chasing something bigger than belts. Their legacies. I'm Reggie Cross for Behind the Lines. If you're feeling the vibe, hit that subscribe. And remember, hype fades, legacy don't. Peace. 745